Are you miking or using just your on-wood mic?
What's easier?
Either way, I just need to know so I set the mics properly.
I can mic. I have a belt.
Okay, great. Great. Yeah, because I brought back the on-wood mic from the last time because I was like, I think she's going to mic.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't last time is because
Right. Because your jacket.
Yeah.
I remember.
Right. No, I know. I've been seeing you.
But I haven't been here.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Ugh.
I see Cantor sometimes when I walk my dog.
I see you too. I just don't understand why this does this.
Hey, Michael. I'm good.
Okay, now.
Take a seat, any seat.
Beautiful.
Oh. Did you take care of honors?
Right, they are camping. They didn't realize they were going to be camping when they said they would be here. Yeah. So, let's see.
Oh, wait. Bring this.
Let me just see if Nobles.
everyone. Shabbat Shalom. So good to be with you. We're going to get started in just a moment. We're just running a couple seconds late with all of this excitement to Temple right now. So hold on, but it's lovely seeing you all.
Peter is confirmed.
Great.
And Shelley, I already confirmed, by the way, for candles. I forgot to tell you.
I figured when you
Yeah.
said that we didn't have someone for that,
Right.
and you had
I realized
talked
that.
to-
I was like,
Yeah.
you asked about all along.
I got the context clue. We're good. Thank you. That's perfect. All right.
Oh.
It is.
It's 7:02. What do you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll invite people to come.
Everyone's having a good time. Nothing wrong with that, but now we want them to have a good time in here. That's true. It's true. That's very.
So pretty. How do you play those so pretty? I don't know how you do it. Just so you know. You'll use bless. Yes. 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 And the microphone will be on.
שבט אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבט אחים גם יחד. How good it is to be together this moment together. כולנו ביחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, ומה נעים, ומה נעים, שבת אחים. גם יחד, how good it is, how good it is to be together, together as one in love, joy, and laughter. How good it is to be in this moment together. כולנו ביחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
And it is truly wonderful to be here all together. For some of us, this is the first time sitting in the sanctuary for a very long time, or perhaps the first time ever in general. And whether it is our first time or we've been here many times over the past few months, it is such a pleasure to be able to see all of your faces. Such a pleasure for all of you who are on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube, to be able to spend the Shabbat with each of you. In our prayer book on page 124, it reads, "We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built this synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. The brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer." And I'd like us to begin the Shabbat, as we always do, with light. And I'd love to invite up Shelley Goffstein to lead us in our blessings.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Shelley. And we turn into our Kabbalat Shabbat, giving ourselves some moments through song, through just breathing in and out, getting ourselves ready to let go of this past week and to welcome in a day of rest, reflection, and sanctity. We continue with Shalom Alechem on page 142.
Shalom Alechem, Shalom Alechem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלאכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלאכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלאכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
On page 130, we continue with the Chuna Ranana.
Let us sing unto God, sing out to God a new song. Let us sing out to God, sing out to God a new song. Lai lai la lai la lai lai la lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai 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 yai la lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai, Nariya letzur yishenu, nekadma fanav betodah.
welcome in the Sabbath bride with L'cha Dodi. And as we reach our final verse, we rise in body or spirit facing the entranceway to welcome in the beauty of Shabbat. But for now, we sit, we relax, and we sing a little.
Okay. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחלה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבורני עלי כנגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוניה סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה.
Okay.
Percussion, too.
And since we are all standing, before we go into our Baruch Hu, let us greet one another and just be able to offer Shabbat Shalom. Yeah.
Where's the pools?
Oh.
Wow.
I love this feeling of community that we have in our room, and it is exactly the right feeling as we head into our Baruch Hu, our call to worship, which, as we know, is a call and responsive prayer. The Cantor leads us in our first line, and we respond as a community saying, yeah, we're ready to pray as community.
la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv avim v'chochma poteach she'arim. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun. You unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and map our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv alavim v'chochma poteach she'arim. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Haravim.
Compassionate source of wisdom, we give thanks to you for words of Torah, which guide us and inspire us throughout our lives. We see ourselves reflected in your holy words. Sometimes, like Hagar, we are seeking. Like young Moses, we are unsure. But we are also like Jacob, who found blessing in life struggles. Like Abraham, our father, who led with kindness and compassion. Like Moses, who recognized God in unlikely places. And Aaron, healer and arbiter of peace. We are like Miriam, whose prayerful music inspired community. Like Shifra and Puah, the courageous. Like Joseph, the forgiving. Seeking justice and truth, we turn your Torah again and again, each time finding new inspiration to accompany us on our sacred journeys. Thank you, O God, for your holy teachings, your love letter to the soul. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Praised are you, God, who loves your people Israel.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated if you wish.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 155. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. We continue with Micha Mocha.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora de'ilot osef eleh, Nora de'ilot osef eleh, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. מלכותך רמו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לה 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 לה. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. ונאמר כיפת אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Right after we offer this prayer of celebration, this prayer of Micha Mocha, where we celebrate the fact that we left Egypt, right? The story of Passover that we're about to be reading a whole lot of in the very, very near future. This celebration of being able to leave a place of hardship and go to a more positive place. We have this prayer that comes after that called the Hashkivenu, which is all about uncertainty, all about the unknown, all about that which might be scary or frightening. Certainly, it's uncertain. And as I say the Hashkivenu each night, I think a lot about people who are in need of this prayer, far more than I am. People who are fleeing from Ukraine and Russia, people who are on our southern borders just hoping to be welcomed into our country, people who are on our city streets in need of some love, care, and a place to live. And so as we celebrate our freedom, as we celebrate all the beauty that we are blessed to have, the Hashkivenu prayer is a reminder to keep working for the day where all of us truly can be free.
Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Uveros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Uveros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. We continue with the words celebrating this gift of Shabbat, the words of Vishamru, which you will find on page 162. Vishamru V'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, ledorotam berit olam, beini uvein bnei Israel, ot hi leolam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinavash.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soil, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We rise in body or spirit for the Amidah on page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid teilatecha Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid teilatecha Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please continue with the prayer book to page 181 or with your own personal prayers and meditations.
לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי הבגלי אדוני צורי בגלי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי
We turn, microphone. There we go. Now hopefully you can hear me. We turn to our Torah service, and as we prepare to take the Torah out of the ark, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit.
כי בציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל מדורותיו כמציון תצא תורה דבר אדוני מירושלים כי בציון תצא תורה דבר אדוני מירושלים שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד אלוהינו גדול אדוננו קדוש שמו גדול אדוני איתי ונרוד ממה שמו יחדיו לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד כי כל בשמיים ובארץ כי כל בשמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה תמיד נעשה לכל ראש.
Okay, technology problems there. You may be seated. Okay. And we are going to be reading from Leviticus in chapter 14, starting with verse 33. And for the Aliyah, I'd like to invite up Peter Hurwitz, our fearless leader of the Reopening Task Force, who has made it possible for us to be right here in the sanctuary right now, along with an incredible team of community leaders.
There's your cheat sheet.
Baruch hu et Adonai haborach.
Baruch Adonai Ambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai haborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol ha'amin. V'natan lu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור, כי תבוא אל ארץ כנען אשר אני נותן לכם לאחוזה ונתתי נגע צרעת בבית ארץ אחוזתכם ובא אשר לו הבית והגיד לכהן לאמור כנגע נראה לי בבית וציווה הכהן ופינו את הבית וטרם יבוא הכהן לראות את הנגע ולא יטמע כל אשר בבית ואחר כן יבוא הכהן לראות את הבית.
Oops, that's okay. You're fine. You're fine. There we go. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher lanu Torah emes v'hayesh olam v'tar b'chachenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. Good job. Shabbat
Yasher
shalom.
koach. Beautiful. Now that we've heard from the Torah and we'll learn a little bit about it in just a moment, we will lift it up for all to see, so I invite you to rise once more in body or in spirit.
זאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה, וזאת התורה, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, לפני בני ישראל. וזאת התורה, 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 וזאת התורה.
You may be seated. So, this week's Torah portion and last week's Torah portion, usually not our favorite Torah portions of the year, because they're all about this strange, funny infection called Sarat. But in the midst of this discussion about Sarat, which is really classified as a skin disease, we come to this piece of Torah that we just read from, where it talks about Sarat being present in the walls of a building. So there's a lot of funny things in the Torah, right? There's talking donkeys, there's fire with God's voice coming out of it. There's all sorts of crazy things, but a wall with a skin disease, what's going on here, right? And even the rabbis early on, back in the Talmud in Sanhedrin, the rabbis say there never was and there never will be Sarat in the walls of a building. And so we might ask, wait a second, if there would never be Sarat in the walls of a building, then why do we have this whole section of the Torah portion about what to do if there is, right? But the Talmud verse goes on, and it says, I have the quote somewhere over here, it says, why then is this law given? To study it and be rewarded for studying it. Okay, not really giving us so much more of a clue, is that, right? For the sake of studying it, that's why we're given this, even though it doesn't exist. So there has to be something that's going on here. And the rabbis begin to question this, trying to figure out what it's all about. what we actually gain by studying this piece of Torah, which doesn't have any sort of basis in our experience. And in order to understand it, as is so often the case, we have to look at a close reading of the Hebrew. So the Cantor just read the words, V'natati nega tzarat. God gave this basically contagious plague, this plague of tzarat in our homes. Now, Rabbi Malbiim points out that the word natan, to give, always has a positive connotation that is associated with it, right? We give the kings, at the end of a war, we're going to give your enemies to you. We're going to give you water in the midst of a desert. Natan is the word that's used. So he then goes back to this text and says, what is the blessing of putting tzarat, of putting this disease into the walls of a building? What is this possibly teaching us? Rabbi Yehuda says that this is meant to be a sign of benevolence. And this is where the brilliance of this Torah portion comes in. That what Rashi begins to teach about this is that long ago, treasures had actually been planted in the walls of people's homes, well before the Israelites were there at this time. Treasures had been planted in the walls. And if there's tzarat in the walls, what do you think you need to do? Knock them down, right? You need to break open the walls. And so what the Torah portion is teaching us is that when we break through the walls of tzarat, we find hidden treasures that we didn't even know were there. Treasures that were right under our nose the entire time. It takes courage, as we know, for anyone to tear down well-fortified walls, to try something new, to expand one's horizons, even when we want to, even when we know it's the best thing to do. And in a week from now, as we know, we're going to be celebrating the holiday of Passover. And it's a holiday about moving from Mitzrayim, a place of narrowness, to Rechuvot, a place of expanse in the desert, a place that has no walls. And yet, as we know, as we read from the story, even when the Israelites are faced with oppression, hard labor, disrespect, violence, intolerance, all of these things, it was not easy for them to move from a place of narrowness to a place of expanse. It was not easy for them to leave Egypt. It felt better at times for them to stay in a place that they knew than to chance a future that could perhaps be better, but that also could perhaps be worse. Indeed, even after they left, at any hint of hardship, any hint of challenge, they expressed a longing for Egypt. And yet leaving Egypt, leaving their narrow experience of hardship and challenge is what gave them the opportunity to find themselves, to receive the Torah, to grow as a people, to dream, and to build a home and a community. If that was true for the Israelites who struggled to that extent, then it's no surprise that we too might be reticent to experience something new, to open ourselves up, to allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to grow. I wonder if this Torah portion's close proximity to the holiday of Passover is teaching us not to allow ourselves to get too comfortable, not to accept the status quo simply because it is the status quo, to recognize that the walls which guide our lives can also obscure, at times, the greatest treasures that are right there under our noses. That there are so many teachings ready to be learned, so many adventures ready to be experienced, so many relationships ready to be mended or formed, if only we are brave enough to tear down the walls that currently obscure the treasures within. And that's why I'm so grateful to be here tonight, not only celebrating Shabbat with all of you, but also celebrating an incredible group of people. A group of people who decided to go maybe a little out of their comfort zones and go through a journey in the Introduction to Judaism class that I was so blessed to teach this year. This is a group of individuals who decided to join this class for a number of different reasons. Some of the people in the class are Jewish and said, there's basics about Judaism that I simply don't know. And I want a chance. I want an opportunity to ask questions. I want an opportunity to find out some of the things that I just haven't had a chance to learn before. It takes courage to do that. It takes courage to come into a class and to ask those questions and to sign up for it and make that commitment. Some of the people in the class are people who are contemplating or who are on their path to converting to Judaism. What a big step it is to decide to go forward with that, right? And some people in the class are people who are Jewish adjacent, who simply want to understand the faith, the culture of people who they love. Whatever reason brought this wonderful group of individuals together to learn, they exemplify the teaching within this Torah portion. That sometimes in being vulnerable, in trying something new, in being able to put ourselves out there in a circumstance we might not otherwise before, that we can grow and we can gain so much in doing so. So I would love to invite, there are some people in our intro class who weren't able to be here today, but for everyone who is here, I would love to invite you to come up onto the bima so that we can bless you for all that you've done and hopefully for all that you will continue to do. Noah and Adam, if you want to come up here along with your parents, you are more than welcome to do that, okay? It is. It's a wonderful class. Look at this class. Isn't this amazing right here? It's pretty awesome, right? I don't want to stand in the way of all these wonderful people behind me. But really, we want to offer two different blessings from all of you. One is a blessing that the Cantor will be leading in just a couple of moments. And the other is a blessing, I don't know where to stand. This group is so big, I don't know which way to go when I'm blessing. But I'd like to offer you this blessing. Because you see, at the end of the book of Exodus, when the people finished creating the tabernacle, finished creating this beautiful home so that God could dwell among them as a people, there's this verse that says, and Moses blessed them. The importance of blessing at the end of a chapter of our journey, right? And so it feels appropriate to bless all of you at the end of this chapter and at the beginning of a new one. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu. May the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, the God of Sarah and Rivka, Leah and Rachel, bless each and every one of you as you have completed this chapter of your study. May God bless you with continued curiosity. May the wisdom that you've gained only grow, the questions you ask only magnify, and your confidence only swell. May you continue the weekly adventure into your soul, taking quotes from what some of you said in your reflection, into the tapestry of Jewish memories. Where is she? Over there, that's from yours. And into the personal journey that is yours and yours alone. May your connections to one another grow deeper. May you always know that you are welcomed and appreciated and celebrated at Temple Beth for the entirety of who you are. That this community is better because you have been and because you continue to be a part of it. May this be only one chapter in your spiritual journey, a continuing process of growth, of new treasures, and of new adventures. And there's a phrase that we say at the end of a chapter, at the end of reading like a book in the Torah, which is chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek, strength, strength, and may you continue to strengthen another as you have so strengthened me throughout all of these months. Yashar Koach, and the Cantor would love to offer you this blessing as well.
For our teachers and their students and the students of the students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen.
Yashar Koach.
Shakochem.
Thank you. You may, yeah. You can stay up here if you want. If you want to lead the service, go ahead. But really, they were in 36 hours of classes over the past several months. That's pretty impressive right there. So really, thank you so much for being a part of all of that. And for all of you who are online, know that those blessings were for you as well, even if you couldn't be here with us in the sanctuary today. In the presence of the Torah, we also offer some other blessings. We offer blessings of healing for people in our community. We're going to offer two different healing blessings as part of our service. One is the Mishaberach blessing, which is traditionally used for more acute illness. It could be used for anything, but several months ago, someone in our community came to me and said, you know, the Mishaberach doesn't always feel like the right blessing. Because for someone who has a chronic condition, for someone who has a genetic disorder, for someone who is never going to fully get better, the Mishaberach prayer, a prayer about healing, might not feel just right. And so we also created another prayer, which is for those who endure chronic conditions. So as I go around the room, I invite you to say aloud the names of anyone for whom you'd like to offer either prayer. And for those of you who are online, I invite you to write in the chat the names of anyone that you'd like to offer this prayer for as well.
Elliot Bruner, Barry Tischler, Diane Schneer, Robin Gregson, Pat Wade.
Gabby Polk, Melissa Polk, and Rebecca Rothstein. For all the people whose names we put in the chat and all the people whose names we've said out loud, let us offer this prayer for each of them.
help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, God, whose presence is there for all of those in need, as we all say, Amen.
We offer our second blessing as well for those who endure chronic conditions. God of our mothers and fathers, watch over all who live with genetic disorders, life-threatening medical conditions, and chronic or degenerative diseases. Bless them with endurance and resilience, fortitude and hope, with opportunities to thrive and shine even as their conditions progress. Watch over them, their families and friends, our community, and all of humankind. We pray for the wisdom and insight to see each member of our community with clear eyes and an open heart, as another human being, a whole person with hopes and dreams, proud of who they are, striving to be their best selves, struggling with this life and loving it too, as we all do. Rock and shelter, grant us all the ability to see each other's humanity clearly, to cherish each other's individuality, to care deeply about one another, to mourn our losses and celebrate our victories together, so that we live, act, and pray as one community of care and blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who strengthens our steps. And with that, I invite you to rise once more in body or spirit as we put our Torah away in the ark and then continue standing for Aleinu.
It's time ilav ha'chazikim v'tomcheha me'ushar דרכיה, דרכנו עם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה.
Page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשה בכיבויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, לגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ובוכים לפני
may be seated. As we turn towards the end of the service, we take a moment to remember people who have died recently or at this time in years past. Today, we are mourning the recent death of Gina Sardelli, Eve Edmonds' sister, and Marina Gurvich, Tanya Zimmerman's mother. We also are observing the yard sites for Leanne Abramowitz, Reba Adler, Richard Behrman, Larry Becker, Herman Bernstein, Lucille Blatt, George Brightman, Jenny Cohen, Thomas Cohen, Michael Colton, Belle Davis, Robert Bob Dreisler, Robert Bob Feldner, Audrey Bernice Fenton, Jean Fleetham, Chaya Fleischer, Jeffrey Frankel, Ann Gardner, Dina Goldman, Franklin Goodman, Henry Gross, Celia Grossman, Robert Grove, Betty Kramer, Asa Bernov-Levitt, Stanley Lieberman, Stephen Mell, Max Mayer, Melvin Moskowitz, Alex Paul, Edna Richards, Anna Rosenblum, Benjamin Rubenstein, Vilma Sleisner, Bertha Schultz, Phoebe Sheriff, Sydney Smuckler, Dr. Eugene Temkin, Sydney Wald, Tobias Watson, Susan Winterfeld, Max Weitzman, and Jacob Whitkin. In memory of all the people whose names I've said aloud, and all the people we're holding in our hearts, I invite us to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomachon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivrach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yanaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim alino ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Alino ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. May all of their memories be a lasting memory. And let us all say, Amen.
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So for everyone who's here, there are handouts outside that have all of the announcements of things that are going on. Marla, did you want to highlight a couple of them for us? Wonderful. You may be seated for just a minute. I know keeping Jews away from food isn't very nice, but just for one moment.
Shabbat Shalom on behalf of
Shabbat
your
Shalom.
Board of Directors here at Temple Beth. I think the word is verklempt. I'm looking out here at so many new warm faces, the learners that we've saw up here be blessed, and faces that are so familiar. They didn't have to fight the traffic on the 405 or Western to get here. They simply came over 3,000 miles back home. So we're so happy to see the noble family, and those of you who don't live so far away, but we haven't seen one another for a good 2 years, and it's really a special night. I feel real emotional about it. Yes, indeed. Want to share with you real quickly, the Community Seder is next Shabbat, okay? You need to sign up for that at RSVP to Shoni. The deadline to register is the 12th. It's being catered, delicious food, and so it's really important that you sign up. You know, you can do it online by Tuesday. It's $40 for adults, $20 for children. It's also interesting to note that want to have some fun on Sunday, April 24th, 1 o'clock. You can reserve your place for Sisterhood. It's a game day. It's going to be at the home at Linda Belzer. Marvin lives there too, but somehow, I don't know.
Only
how
on alternate Tuesdays.
yeah, must be alternate, yeah, right. All ages are welcome to participate in a variety of games. You can bring your favorite game to the party. A percentage of the proceeds will go to the Women of Reformed Judaism's Yes Fund. It's $25 an adult, $15 per adult under 18, or a maximum of $50. Linda is the president of Sisterhood, and that's who you should RSVP to. It's really important that all of us participated, always possible, in the future of the installation of our Rabbi Cassi here. You may think that's strange. Usually installations occur early on in their careers, right? We're talking about 3+ years or 3 years. I could lost count here. But we had that plague that got in the way of us doing some of the things that we thought were most important. But never fear. We're doing it. It's the weekend of May 19th through 22nd. Well, we're telling you about it a good month in advance now because we want you to mark your calendars. We want you to attend all the different festivities there. And we also want you to participate. You can be a sponsor for the weekend for $360, or if you want to go to all the events, it's $180. What's really fascinating here is we're going to be able to see a very renowned artist named Mordecai Rosenstein. And he'll be creating a special one-of-a-kind painting for our Temple Bethel 100th anniversary. It's going to be amazing. I want you all to come if you can. There's also going to be an opportunity to laugh with our Judaism and what we know about it. There's an incredible improv group. It's called the Bible Players. You'll have an opportunity to watch them and enjoy them. A big gala or big dinner party Saturday night, etc. Where do you RSVP? Our financial office with Shoni. Virtual Seder workshop. Check Tuesday bulletin. It's on Zoom. Let's see, the game day. Oh, Hebrew beginner class. We were just chatting about that before. You want to continue this lifelong journey of adult learning and you're contemplating maybe becoming, of a mitzvah? Well, there's a Hebrew class for adults, and so we encourage you to do that. And those of you who have an opportunity to participate, we're going to do some security training, awareness training. There'll be 2 opportunities to participate in that. One of them is on Wednesday, April 27th. You won't remember this all, but it's in this brochure. And look at those Tuesday bulletin notices. It's an in-person one here at TBE at 7 o'clock. Again, RSVP to the office regarding that opportunity to learn. And then there'll be another opportunity to learn later, and May 26th, it'll be virtual. So we're trying to cover all our bases and making sure that everybody learns as much as they can as we keep ourselves safe. On behalf of the Board of Directors, we want to thank the remarkable Barbara Brickman, who served as greeter, Peter Hurwitz, who served as greeter, the 20 fingers of Bob Remstein. It's amazing. Every week, I think there's something else over there besides him. And of course, no better than leading services, Rabbi Cassi and Cantor Ilan. It just it is wonderful. What a grateful evening. I'm full of gratitude for this evening. And I was thinking, Rabbi Cassi, what am I supposed to take away from that learning? I'm trying to figure this out, and the walls, and I'm having a house painted, and I hate walls, and it's all crazy. I don't like it. But then I thought about it. Think about the walls of this beloved sanctuary, this spiritual place. And within these walls, families come back, new families come in, the rest of us show up, whether we're online, I don't know where you are, online, or whether you're here, right here in person. These walls are really important in our lives, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this family within this structure. It's Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Wait, something else. Barbara will hurt if I don't tell you. Barbara is working in the gift shop. It's open. There is a huge Oneg Shabbat, and coffee is late, but it doesn't take long to make it.
It's not late, it's already made.
Oh, well, they can't find it. So go in there.
On
So
the
it's-
counter.
It's okay. They can't find it. But, so you all
But
go
the
in
sign's
there.
on top, so people would know.
I know. Well, so anyway, you go find it and eat and choose.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry.
And for everyone who is online, I encourage you to stay around so you can go into Oneg breakout rooms.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Come on. There we go.